Thyroid diseases. What do we know about them? Well, personal experience is my ex got thyroid cancer and was treated with radiation for thyroid cancer. The radiation used was iodine 131 because it does exactly what science informs us it does. It accumulates significantly in the thyroid and creates enough radiation density in the thyroid to destroy it, to destroy all the little genes that make that thyroid reproduce, all the little pumps and chemistry. So that we know iodine 131, the radioactive isotope of iodine. Now, this fact that iodine travels like this, it is a fact, period. In the human body, it's a biological uptake element, well documented. We know how long it lives in the human body, which is fascinating. So we know one of the causes of thyroid disease is exposure to iodine 131, and one of the treatments for it is exposure to iodine. So that's just what we do, what we have been doing. So there's that. Now, thyroid cancers have been studied for decades, thyroid diseases, because again, there's more things. I think arsenic is one of the elements, not an isotope necessarily, although there are isotopes from fallout, from decay products that aren't mentioned often. So, yes, that's what's out there. That's what we know. Thyroid cancer occurs. Now, what gets interesting is the conversations around thyroid cancers. If full assays were done, full assay with no lower limits, full capabilities of the proper instrumentation could show what the causes of these cancers are. Could. See, I'm qualifying a lot of these because, from my viewpoint, I understand the sciences. It's how they're applied that I'm struggling with, or why they aren't applied. So, somehow, after decades of thyroid issues being diagnosed, of this known path and trigger for thyroid cancer, and yet the diagnostics, the diagnosis of this wasn't solid. It had to be changed for Fukushima. One of the things that changed that is changing limits of contamination. They raised the safety limits. They changed the rules, which changed the diagnostic procedures. So I just see a big smarmy mess inside of this. The case of the nuclear industry isolating studies. This iodine problem is a challenge across the globe. So, yeah, that's my concerns over this zero harm game. This zero, it's a slogan. It's not, it just, what we know doesn't work that way. Maybe the odds went from 1 in a million to 2 in a million. If they could be honest and present it that way, maybe we could respect the rest of what they're talking around. But this conversation requires healthcare professionals. It requires instrument and measurement professionals, and requires labs beyond the reach, with costs beyond the reach of most researchers. This is how science works. Somebody pays for it, because nothing's free unless you're a billionaire. Then you have to pay for politicians. So there is my reason for not trusting what Fukushima publishers are saying. Your move.